Hi guys, it's Anna here. So in this video I am going to make a portrait using a pencil only in my sketchbook, and this is a portrait of a baby or a toddler. So I am trying to make out where the features are. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below if you wanna try it yourself. And I am doing the eyes. The eyes are like one eye apart. I have other tutorials in this channel teaching how to make the eyes, or how to make the lips or noses, so you can check that out before going into this one. So I didn't want to do a real hyper realistic portrait, but I wanted to make a pretty realistic one with a very smooth appearance, the shadows and whatnot. I didn't want this to be like very sketchy. I wanted to have like a smooth look to it. And so what I used is like, I used erasers. I have that electric eraser from the Rent. It could be anything, as long as it's thin. I used it because it's thin. I don't think I even used it's electrical, but I didn't use that. I used it manually. So I am trying to define values. Basically, it's just it. You don't look at it and try to think this is an eye or this is a nose. It's what I always say. All you have to do is like look at it and try to see values, like where is darker, where is lighter, and then after you map that out and know, you just add layers and layers where it's darker and where is lighter. Of course, you don't do that many layers. And all I used was an HB pencil and an 8B pencil to give me more so I could have more charcoal or graphite. I don't even know if this is graphite. I don't know if it's shiny or not, but anyway, so I used the darker pencil, the 8B pencil, just to make things, make the shadows and the darkest values out of it. But you can layer and layer and layer with an HB. It won't give you that much of a depth, but it works anyway. So if you don't have an HB, or you can use a 4B or whatever, just a darker pencil, or you're just gonna need to layer more of the HB or the 2HB, which is the ones I prefer to use. So as I said before, there are tutorials on my page on how to do the eyes, the iris, all of those features, the eyelashes and whatnot. You can see a bit in here. I made it a little faster so it doesn't bother you to death. But what you use is the two types of pencils, or just one if that's what you have. And I used an eraser. It could be a thin one, or I also use a normal one, a rectangle one. You can use like the corners of the rubber. If you don't have a corner, you can cut it out with an X-Acto knife or something, and you get the corners again. And you need those fine erasers to bring light to the sketch. In places where you have shadow and you want to add light. So it's kind of like drawing with an eraser, which is very interesting. It's not as easy as with pencil. So if you can leave the parts light, like I'm doing in the eyes, you don't have to go there with an eraser afterwards. So I'm just shading where I should shade. But sometimes in the nose, if you want to make it shinier, or to do the hair, I'm gonna do that next when the hair goes on the face, some part, because the kid is blonde. Some strings of hair go into the shadowy part of the face, and so I need to make them lighter, and I use the eraser for that. So that's something I wanted to try, like look at the reference photo and see where's shadows, where is darker and where is lighter. Try to draw it. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just an exercise. And then I use a stump that is made of paper, and I even use like a cotton thingy. I don't know how you call it. I don't remember. Use that. You'll see me doing it. So I rub it with a little bit of cotton. You can use that too. You can use a stump. Oh, see this cotton. I don't remember the name. So see, I wanted to have a little bit more of light there, and I went with an eraser, the corner of the eraser, and that's how you do it throughout the portrait. So you need to see, this is a stump I was talking about. So you need to be looking at the reference photo and looking at where is dark, where is light, where is the darkest darks, where are the darkest darks and the lightest lights. And you have to keep going and starting slowly, like the layers should be like, you don't just go ahead and just make things very dark and then try to bring them to light. Just try to do the other way around. Like you start adding and adding and adding value until you have what you want. In this case, and in most of cases in a portrait, what you want to be more visible, or the focus point of the attention of the person who's looking at it, is the eyes. Because, the eyes are very, very important, and people tend to look at the eyes. So I believe that's where you should have the more contrast, meaning the darkest values and the darkest values against lighter values. So, and that's good because the eyes, the globe of the eye is supposed to be white. Of course, there are shadows and whatnot, but there's a little bit in the middle that is very it's very bright, and also because it's wet, it has this shiny stuff, shiny parts, and the light goes in the eye and refracts and whatnot. So there is a shiny part in the eye that is going to attract you to it. And then there's the iris, and there is the eyelashes and whatnot, and that is so dark usually that makes a lot of contrast in the eyes, and that is how it immediately is gonna make you look at the eyes. So that's not a problem. And I want to apologize for this difference of light. I don't even know what that is. Whenever I put my hand or my eraser on front of the paper, it just lights up. But I was filming this with the same light, and it was like a daylight. It was a very gray day, and there wasn't much light, but this exposure is just constantly like changing, and it annoyed me so much when I was like editing the video. But I think you can see what I'm doing, and that's why I kept the video, because I kind of liked how this portrait turned out. And since it's a toddler, it's so much harder for me to make like kids' faces, because I don't know, kids and old people, it's very hard. I mean, I think drawing a person is hard because of all the features, and it's hard. But when you go to a toddler and when you go to old people, the wrinkles are are insane. That's why those hyper realistic portraits, like where we can see the grain of the skin, is just insane to me. How they do that, it's just insane. It is insane to me how someone says that's not hard. Oh god, that's so sad. Because it really is hard. It's just insane, the level of like the concentration, and you have to be really aware of what you're doing and be very precise. And god, I don't know if I could ever do that, even if I trained for it. So yeah, I keep looking at those. It's insane. It's almost like a photo, like with very good resolution photo. It's weird. It's insane. How can someone do that? So, but before I was talking about the bright parts of the face, and in this case, I mean, it's just a sketch. I do what I want. It's my sketch. I went and grabbed an acrylic pen at the end. My Posca bursted on me, so it wasn't. I didn't use that, but I used something similar in this case, and I kind of just did a little bit of shine on the eyes and on the nose and on the lips. And this is just me working like the values. See, this is the HB pencil, and I'm doing shadows, so all you have to do is layer. I think you can do it like, I know you can layer and layer and layer. And in this case, it's a pretty smooth paper. It's just a sketchbook, and it's pretty smooth. So I mean, there's not a lot of tooth in the paper, and I made a lot of layers, so it's good. I'm gonna leave the material list in the link in the description box, so you can check it out if you want. So in this part, I'm just trying to. I didn't draw like every string of hair. I just saw the ones that were interacting with the eyes and whatnot, and I tried to mimic that, something like that. I mean, if you're doing a portrait to sell, it's different than just a sketchbook. You know, this is just an exercise. If you're doing a portrait to sell, well, you want to be the closest you can to the photo reference, I think. And at the end, the sketch must be recognizable. I mean, the person, not the sketch. The person must be recognizable. So in here, I am adding a little value to the lips, and I am trying to portray those kind of wrinkles that exist on the lips, so it makes it more realistic. The more details you get, the more realistic it's gonna look. And usually near a part that is very dark, there's a part that is very light, like in a wrinkle. The wrinkle is very dark, but the parts right on the sides of the wrinkle are very light, and then maybe there's a middle tone after it. So there's this little shadow, but you have to pay attention. So right now, it's what I was talking about. I'm using the eraser to make like contrast in the hair. Like some hairs would be lighter because the kid has light hair, and some would be darker. Now I am looking at the overall thing and trying to see if the values are right, because when we're sketching, I should be using like a paper, not to smudge it with my hand, but I didn't. So I saw that part of the face was a little darker than it should be, maybe because my hand went through that. And right now I'm trying to make the eyes pop up a little bit more, like using a very, very light pen. I am really sorry about the differences in the In the exposure, I don't even know where. Whenever I approach with something white or whiter, it just poof, and then it shuts down. I don't know. So then it's just a matter of trying to understand when you think it's done, because this is pretty much it. See where's dark, where's light, work it out with erasers or pencil, charcoal. So that's pretty much it. If you want to see other features studied by itself, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, I have videos on the channel. And that's it. Just try it out, sketch a lot, and have fun. That's the most important part. If it's not okay, just try again. Don't give up. So I hope you found this interesting and learned something from it. I hope I see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye. Do a lot of art.